The advertising for Star Citizen can get pretty scammy at times. Let me show you.
Stranger in my own world. I set out to find my path.
Okay, there's two things. Those sharp cliffs that create these chasms, that's currently not in the game. And I think the developers only showed that off as a prototype several years ago. And the second thing is climbing, like fastening a rope somewhere and then rappelling down a cliff. There's no indication of that ever being in the game. And that trailer is 4 years old. Okay, let's look again at the climbing over here. Okay, and the next thing is shown up here. Okay, three things in this frame. Notice the shape of the rocks, this hexagon-shaped structure. Notice the character holding on to geometry with the hands correctly fitting to it. That's something that Assassin's Creed has. And notice the shape of the backpack. Especially notice the latches, how realistic this backpack looks compared to other Star Citizen backpacks. Okay, so why am I talking about scammy advertising? Well, the first thing is because most of the things shown off here have no indication of ever being in the game, and there's a second layer to it. And for some of you, this might be already apparent. Let me explain. There's another game, which is called Death Stranding. Okay, so here's what you can do in Death Stranding. You can take rope, you can put it wherever you want. And now you can procedurally rappel down from a cliff. Or you can climb up the cliff. Okay, so I'm going to tab back out. Let's go back to the other frame with the climbing. Okay, you see the similarities here? Not just the climbing animation. Notice the backpack shape and the color of the backpack, of the cargo piece rather. See here? Tab out. See here? Okay, now the next thing I'd like to show you is notice the structure of those rocks. And you can see that structure up here. So it is apparent to me that the developers of Star Citizen tried to use the hype for Death Stranding to make it appear that the players would get the type of gameplay in Star Citizen eventually. And I think that's pretty scammy and very misleading because rope climbing, there's no indication of that ever being in the game. And that presentation you see here is 4 years old. It was used on CitizenCon 2019. And some might say that's just coincidence. Oh, there's more evidence. Okay, so here's the Codeo helmet. Now this is based on the Odyssey flight helmet. And the Odyssey flight helmet is basically this shape with this shape. And this was a glass plate so you can see through without the chin piece and without the top piece. And then within 1 hour video, the developers turned the normal helmet into this Codeo helmet. And it was a subscriber item in 2019. So within an hour, a developer took an existing helmet and turned it into this. Now, what's so special about that helmet? Now, let's examine the logo of Kojima Productions, which is Kojima's production company. And the first game he made with this new company was Death Stranding. Okay, let's look at the logo. Okay, see here, the same pronounced chin piece, medieval plate armor helmet, and the piece on the head over here. Let's compare it to the Codeo. Okay, that doesn't look like a coincidence to me. Also look at the release date. Death Stranding released on consoles in 2019, on November 8th. CitizenCon 2019 was November 23rd. And the solid gameplay reveal trailers that showed off the game in near finished state were, I think, released in May 2019. So what the Star Citizen developers did was suggest gameplay to the player in the trailer to sell more ships. However, that stuff has no indication of ever being in the game. Okay, there's one more thing I'd like to show you. Notice in this game, when you're carrying a piece of cargo, I mentioned earlier in the video that this cargo piece looks very similar to the backpack in Star Citizen. They wanted to create the Stranding appearance with the straps. However, they didn't go all the way to make it realistic. So what I mean by that is that in Death Stranding, if you look at the backpack, in Death Stranding, or the whole rigging system, the way a character carries it, every piece of that rig is accounted for in the way it's latching onto the backpack. Like you can really zoom in really far. See every piece of it on the left screen is attached to some backpack straps which go around the body of the main character. See this here? All that detail. See, especially here in the connecting pieces where the soft part of the character strap parts that's deformable as the character moves is attached to the rigid parts. It's completely accounted for with every single latch. Now, the Star Citizen developers could have done the same thing for their backpack system, like having a standardized rig system that attaches from the backpack system to the spacesuit. Or what they did in Star Citizen was, the moment they have to transfer some type of straps to the character rig, they just dropped it. They didn't do it at all. See that here, there's no strap leading to the character, and it's usually just attached to one connecting bone on the character spine and in the animation rig. And it's the same for all backpacks in all of Star Citizen. Some newer backpacks even have some straps and soft appearing parts, but they never put in the effort of having some soft connections to the character. And there's one more thing. You notice here, that's also 2019, where they showed off new character armor types, which look really nice. But notice, during that Citizen presentation, many of the concept pieces show characters holding suitcases with the left and right hand. And that's only the case during CitCon 2019, not before that, not after that, I think either. Now, why is that relevant again? Because again, it suggests some gameplay depth that Star Citizen likely will never have. Okay, let me show you how to get out of the camera mode. Okay, see, you can put stuff on your backpack. However, you can also, let me show you. Offload, confirm. What you can do is go to that. You can select left or right hand. Carry it this way. Carry this like left hand. And Star Citizen will likely never have that because it requires a lot of animation programming and animation work. However, they had no problem advertising that in the concept pieces that just happened to fall into the same year as Death Stranding came out.